Every era has its frontier. A line between what is and what's next. We've played the game, built the legends, carried the weight. But this is different. This is where the game leaves the ground. No limits, no ceiling. No looking back. This isn't the next season. This is the next frontier.
It's a sold-out series in Durham, North Carolina. These Carolina Blaze fans lined up down the street for one last look at the Blaze here in their inaugural season in Durham. On the other side, Maya Brady and Oklahoma City have a very simple mission. It is win, and you're in the postseason. A sweep will secure it, and they'll have to do so against a team who is desperate for wins right now. Carlin Pickens and Carolina, just a couple weeks ago, were in second place. Now they're out of the postseason, trying to play spoiler on this final weekend of the regular season. Oklahoma City has two paths in, a sweep, and you're in no matter what. Portland plays later tonight. If they were to lose, it would only take 2 wins for Oklahoma City because they have the tiebreaker over the Cascade. So a big weekend in the AUSL over the next few days to decide who is in the postseason with Utah and Chicago. Alongside Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. Anna Camden joins us shortly down on the field. It all comes down to this. All the drama has built to this moment. For Oklahoma City, you just have to win.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but they're going up against a Blaze team that is hungry to win. And how about it coming down to the very final series and 2 expansion teams, 2 teams that we added this summer, Cascade and Spark, fighting for a final spot in the playoffs. We didn't get this last year, but we get it this year with 6 teams and expanding, all the teams being so equal.
Oklahoma City's pitching been much better lately, but this is a team that's been built on offense all year long. Maya Brady and Sydney Romero, tremendous this season.
I have a feeling that if the Spark are going to do this thing, if they are going to sweep the Blaze, it is going to come down to these 2 veteran hitters, Maya Brady and Sydney Romero, 2 candidates for hitter of the year this year in the AUSL. They have been the dynamite duo that has led the Spark offense and have hit the most home runs in the league. Combined between these 2 hitters, though, hitting close to 400, 16 of their 34 team home runs have come off of their bats.
Let's take a look at the Spark starting lineup presented by Easton. You said it, 34 home runs, leads the AUSL. They can do it top to bottom. 7 players with at least 2 home runs on the year, 3 players with 6 or more to face off against the flamethrower Carlin Pickens in her rookie season out of Tennessee. Sydney McKinney leads it off and fouls the first pitch off at 74 miles per hour. Carlin Pickens with a massive crowd to watch the fastest thrower in the sport. 4-5 on the year, started 4-0. It's just been tough luck in the last half of the season for Carlin. She's still been really good in the circle, has a 3.02 ERA, and has the first out of the game.
I don't think that her record as a rookie is indicative of how she has pitched this year. Had a lot of luck, a lot of offense behind her whenever she stepped in the circle in her starts early on this season. But why the Blaze have gotten into trouble is because their offense has just slipped away and not provided her the run support that she had earlier.
Sydney McKinney's return from Japan has pushed Maya Brady to the 2-hole in this lineup. Was the leadoff for the majority of the year. McKinney now in the leadoff spot. Brady, who has great run producing ability of her own, in the 2-hole with Sid Romero behind her. Brady did go around, 1-1 count. Out west right now, Portland plays Texas tonight, but Chicago and Utah had that series moved there due to the air quality conditions in Chicago. If the Bandits win that game today, which just went to the 8th inning with Utah, they will force a winner-take-all for the top seed in the postseason. That would be tomorrow. As you look at Maya Brady, who was just fouled that pitch off herself. Brady swing and a miss. 2 quick outs for Carlin Pickens.
She is working that changeup early and often to Maya Brady. Got her to chase it early in the count, throws it through the zone here. So you talked about her throwing 74, 75, 76, sometimes 77 miles an hour is what Carlin Pickens can step into the circle and throw. But she has a changeup that is very effective that she brings in at about 64 to 66 miles an hour that you can see already the first 3 hitters that she's facing. She's trying to establish that pitch early. That last pitch to Sid Romero was a changeup.
Carlin has the 3rd best ERA in the league, 1st in innings pitched, tied for 1st in strikeouts entering today. Now she is chasing Montana Fouts, who is dealing right now against the Bandits. Here is Sid Romero. Takes outside, 2-1 count for Romero, who's on a 5-game hit streak, and in the last 5 games has homered 3 times, has doubled twice, and has driven in 7 runs.
She'll have to face is Carlin Pickens to drop ball. That's the pitch that she throws the hardest. 77, 76 miles an hour is what she can ramp it up to, and alongside that changeup, she stays more down in the zone, but she can go up with her rise ball every now and then. Throw it a little bit to raise the eye level of these hitters to be able to work down the zone with her drop and changeup.
3-2 from Carlin in front of a sold-out crowd, trying to go 1-2-3 right back to her. And there it is, 1-2-3 inning for Carlin Pickens to start things off for Carolina. Must-win game for OKC. The AUSL is sponsored by Sephora. Carolina has 3 of the top rookies in the league. Reese Atwood is one of them. 8 home runs, tied for the AUSL lead. 21 RBIs, also leads Carolina. She is in the 2 spot for this Carolina lineup presented by Rawlings, and the other offensive rookie that they drafted out of Arkansas, Dakota Kennedy, leads things off as she has started to heat back up in these last couple games. First pitch is down and in. They will face a rookie left-hander out of Columbia Station, Ohio, the Belmont star Maya Johnson, trying to set the tone in this series and trying to keep a trend going, Amanda, that is unique to this staff, because entering their last week or so, Game 3 against Utah started a trend of 3 consecutive complete games. The only other complete game prior to that was the opener of the season for Maya Johnson.
And that is why they are in playoff contention, was that they had this turning point with their pitching staff, particularly with the veterans and Elena Vaughter and Jalen Ford and Maddie Penta, that have got them back on track to then support their offense, which has been so strong all season. But Maya Johnson, she was the ace of the staff early in season. This Spark team started without those 3 veterans that I just named. They were playing the Japan Diamond League, so they got to the AUSL late. And this Spark pitching staff was all rookies. All 5 pitchers on their staff were rookies. And Maya Johnson early on was their ace, their go-to. You see how much they trust her, giving her the ball in this big game.
Slow roller right side. Delaney Wiz standing in the line of Kennedy. Tags her out for the first. They have won 6 of their last 8 games, Oklahoma City has. Carolina has lost 8 in a row. Reese Atwood now, one of the fan favorites quickly here in Carolina. Takes ball 1 high.
I just like to see Reese Atwood in this rookie year after coming off of 2 national championships with Texas and ending her senior season, coming right to the AUSL. I just like to see her swinging free. And that's what you've seen from Reese Atwood. There were times, especially in her senior year, after this absolute breakout junior year that she had at Texas, offensively, back behind the plate, doing it all. Top 3 finalists for National Player of the Year. And then your senior year, you could tell she was pressing a little bit. But I feel like it just seems, watching her, that this start to her professional career has kind of been a clean slate, where she's just being able to step up into the box and play free.
Has a hit or a walk in 12 of the last 13 games, and there is a walk. This is kind of a trend. We've seen a lot of Carolina lately, and this has been a trend for them because prior to the last 2 games against Chicago, which they lost, but they scored a lot, they'd really been struggling offensively. So Reese Atwood has not seen a ton of hittable pitches as of late.
It's kind of reminding me of what it was like when Oklahoma found themselves with Kendall Wells, a freshman, and teams pitching around Kendall Wells or Lauren Chamberlain, Jocelyn Allo back in the day. Like, teams have not wanted to let Reese Atwood be the hitter in this Blaze lineup that beats them. So they're not giving her really anything to hit late in the season. She's drawing a lot of walks. So one time in the Volt series that she got something to hit, or their most recent series, she had a 3-run home run. So she is so on top of the mistakes and being able to take pitches as pitchers have been trying to work around her. She's just been taking her walks, and it's going to be up to someone else to step up.
That someone at the moment is Bailey Klingler in the 3-hole. 4th-year pro out of Washington. She's from Houston, Texas, comes from a very athletic family. On a 4-game hit streak.
Maya Johnson is going to come from the left-hand side, and she is really established in her rookie year, her drop ball and her screwball. When she was at Belmont, all 4 years, she really lived on her rise ball, more up in the zone, really liked to get hitters to chase that pitch up and out. And there's a screwball there, but what she has done is completely changed the way that she has pitched these hitters as a pro to be more down in the zone. With the home run hitters that we have in this league, she's learned to lean more on her drop ball and her screwball to keep the ball down in the zone.
Low ball 2. Maya's had really a solid rookie season, a 4.33 ERA. She's thrown 42 innings pitched, and when you look at the whole body of work, she just had a massive workload from the start because they had 3 pitchers in Japan, Penta, Vaughter, and Jalen Ford. 5 rookies on staff. And Maya Johnson quickly became the leader of that group. Had a 3-ball count against all 3 hitters so far. Klingler thought that was ball 4, but instead it's a full count.
Well, I think that she loves stepping into this league and getting the ball, being the one, getting to pitch right away. It was her goal to play in this league, to get recognized as a pitcher playing at Belmont at a mid-major, that she could play in this league.
Into right field and down in front of Harper. Atwood's going to take 3rd. It's aggressive base running from Reese Atwood. Now 1st and 3rd with just 1 away here in the 1st.
Reese Atwood knew as soon as this ball hit the ground, she had to wait to see as it was put in the air if anybody was going to get to it. And then she was sinking 3 all the way, getting herself from 1st to 3rd after that Bailey Klingler single. And Blaze are in business, but Reese Atwood knew exactly what she wanted to do. Headed towards 2nd.
Texas and Carolina both eliminated from postseason contention. But you wouldn't know it with how Texas has finished the year. Big win last night over Portland. And then Carolina trying to play spoiler here today. Nothing is decided with a Carolina win today. It would just give the keys back to Portland. They would be in the driver's seat. A win tonight, if OKC loses this game and Portland's in, the playoffs would be set. Swing and a miss from Valerie Cagle in the 4 spot and playing right field today. Familiar with this field, not playing college ball here, but at Clemson in the ACC.
This field has totally a different feel than the Duke games. And I know that they get good crowds, but the way that Durham and this Duke softball stadium and the fans here have embraced this team has been so special to watch with the crowds.
Cagle pops it up on the infield for Sydney Sherrill, and there's 2 outs.
And the entire berm being filled all the way down the right field line and behind the outfield seats. People were waiting in line for hours to be able to get in, even battling some weather that we had before the game with lightning and a little bit of rain and drizzle. These fans have been committed to getting here and a chance to watch this game.
Brito through the left side, Carolina on the board. Alyssa Brito's had a bit of a quiet offensive year, but she jumped all over that first pitch.
And look at how important that is that Reese Atwood got herself from first to third on the Bailey Klingler single, so that on a hard hit single like this, I don't know if Reese Atwood's able to score from second base because of what Brito put behind this. High exit velocity, 78 miles an hour, scores the first run of this game.
Strike one to Jenna Laird, the second baseman for Carolina.
Just thinking about, Chucky, the pressure that Maya Johnson must feel entering into this game on the road, getting the ball in game 1 of the series. I mean, you really think about her story and where she came from in Belmont, just hoping to get a chance to play in this league. And now every time she picks up the ball or gets the ball and goes to the back of the circle, who is she looking at in center field? Maya Brady.
Ground ball to Romero, who flips to Sherrill casually, and Maya Johnson keeps it to just 1 run. But Carolina on the board. They lead it after 1. One 0 Carolina over Oklahoma City after 1 inning, and what at the moment is a must-win for Oklahoma City. They don't know what's going to happen later this evening in Portland, Oregon. We can tell you what's happening in Portland right now. Utah and Chicago playing there. Their series was moved there due to the air quality conditions in Chicago. That game currently tied 1-1 on ESPN in the bottom of the 8th, and there are now 2 outs, and the winning run is at third base. Chicago wins, and it forces a winner-take-all game tomorrow for the #1 seed in the postseason, which is essentially a first-round bye right to the championship. If Utah wins, they are the #1 seed. Delaney Wiz leads it off in the second inning against Carlin Pickens and takes the first couple pitches 1-1. No one is rooting harder for Carolina than the Cascade are. And no one will be a bigger fan of Texas tonight than Oklahoma City. Regardless of the result here, the Spark will be rooting very heavily for a team they beat twice in the midweek to keep their hopes alive.
This is a very good Blaze team. I mean, at the beginning of July, they were in the hunt for a playoff spot. They were second in the standings. They were looking like they were in a position to be in College Station at the end of July. But then they've just gotten in this really difficult funk after a walk-off home run by Bri Ellis against the Talons with Carlin Pickens pitching.
Bounces up nicely to Brito. One out in the second.
I don't know what it was about that moment, if it just happened to be a game that they lost in Utah where they were in position to win that game against the Talons, and all of a sudden Bri Ellis hits that walk-off home run, and their entire season has changed since then. They have not been able to figure out a way to win. They have figured out a million different ways to lose games. But they're a really good team.
Strike one to Amari Harper. They were 8-6 at that point that you're talking about. That was the beginning of July 4th. They were 8-6 in second place. Since that point, 8 consecutive losses. So many of those losses have come in heartbreaking fashion. 6 of the 8 on this losing streak are by 1 or 2 runs, including 5 in walk-off fashion. Chicago just walked it off against Utah in Portland. That means tomorrow's game between the Bandits and Talons is for the #1 seed.
Oh my gosh. So exciting.
Why is that important if you don't know the playoff format? The top 3 make it. 2 and 3 have to play each other in a 1-game play-in game 2 days before the championship starts in College Station. #1 seed just awaits the winner of that game in a best-of-3 series.
Number 24, Sydney Sherrill.
First pitch up and in to Sydney Sherrill. The final play in that Chicago game currently under review, so we'll keep you posted. Sherrill fouls that off herself, 1-1 count. Inside on the 1-1 pitch.
I like the way that Carlin Pickens is establishing her changeup already, and then also just the corners that she's hitting with their drop ball early in this game. I think the last few starts, or the last few appearances that she's had, when you look at her last 3 appearances, it's been 10 innings pitched, opponents hitting .325 off of her.
We welcome our new audience who just watched Chicago beat Utah in extra innings, setting up that winner-take-all for the top seed tomorrow between those 2 teams. Alongside Amanda Scarborough and Anna Camden, I'm Chucky Kemp. We are here in Durham, North Carolina. More postseason implications in this one for Oklahoma City. If they sweep Carolina, they are guaranteed the 3rd spot in the postseason. Depending on what Portland does tonight, if Portland were to lose to Texas, it would only take Oklahoma City winning 2 of 3. But the Spark cannot afford to let this one slip and allow Portland to end it tonight. Ground ball left side, picked up by Anna Gold, and Carlin Pickens has dealt 2 scoreless to start this game. In front of an absolutely packed house in Durham, North Carolina. So here's what it looks like. Chicago in front, but Utah would have the tiebreaker should they win tomorrow. So Bandits must win tomorrow to have the #1 seed. Top 3 make the postseason. You see Oklahoma City chasing Portland, but they have one extra game in hand to play, and that will be Monday night. How crazy would that be if that's for a spot in the postseason? Alongside Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. This has been really an incredible finish. We did not have this last year as far as the drama goes at the very end, but Oklahoma City, Chicago, Utah, everybody feels like they're in it.
Yeah, and the fact that it's coming down to 2 expansion teams fighting for that final spot in the playoffs, the Spark and Cascade, 2 new teams that we added to the AUSL to make it 6 teams this summer. We didn't have this feel last summer, but with adding the 2 teams and it coming down to the final regular season series, I mean, this is what we were hoping for at the beginning of the season, and it's exactly what we're getting.
With more on Oklahoma City, let's go down to Anna Camden.
Yeah, like you guys just said, this game is make or break for the Oklahoma City Spark. This series is make or break, but head coach Amber Flores told me that for them, it's just business as usual. She said one of her favorite parts of this team is how level-headed they are. Today they did warm-ups as usual, scout as usual, pre-game meal as usual, business as usual. But of course, there is a level of pride for this program in its first season with the AUSL as one of those 2 expansion teams. And she said they often talk about how what they do in this first year is going to set the standard for years to come. So inevitably, this is a huge series for the Spark, not just for a playoff berth, but for the future of the program and the precedent they want to set.
And we've got a pitching matchup that fits it with Carlin Pickens and Maya Johnson. It's the #1 pick in Pickens against the #3 pick in Johnson. We actually saw this matchup briefly this year in the college level. Belmont played Tennessee. Pickens actually left that game early with an injury, but they're both off to solid starts. Johnson gave up 1 run in the first, and now Kayla Kowalik, who has recently returned from the injured list, leads off the second with a base hit.
A lot of pressure for a rookie in Maya Johnson. She's going up against Carlin Pickens, who's also a rookie, but she's getting to play loose and free. The Blaze know that they're not going to be in the playoffs, but for Maya Johnson, I mean, Amber Flores, their head coach, and their coaching staff decided, you know what, we're going to give Maya Johnson, the rookie, the ball in this must-win situation, and she has been so competitive this year in the circle.
Gold lays down the bunt, and there was no chance to get her, and there's 2 on here in the second.
And to think about the pressure that she is feeling as a rookie to try to help this team get to where they want to be, what Anna was describing, the setting the standard, the foundation for an expansion team, and having the belief from the coaching staff and the veterans that are playing behind her that she can be the one that gets the ball in this big game and get the job done.
Umpires discussing something here. Amber Flores coming out of the dugout to talk to Alex Leap.
Oklahoma City is challenged in the previous call on the field that the ball did not make contact with the batter coming out of the box. This play is under review.
Big call here. Anna Gold bunting there and clearly catching OKC off guard.
It did look like it hit off of her helmet while she was in the box. Got a big bounce right there in front of home plate, and it looked to me like it hit the upper part of her body. Although I don't see, I mean, we have a really good shot, slow-mo camera there. I did not see the spin of the ball change at all when it went up by her helmet.
The first angle made it look like it did hit her helmet, but that angle with the ball not changing direction or spin, then maybe not.
I don't think there's definitive evidence that it hit her. The first angle, I'm totally with you. I thought that it did, but in these other 2, I don't see anything that proves it.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe at first base. That's Oklahoma City's first challenge.
Just the second inning, but every moment is just magnified with what's at stake for Oklahoma City. I think you can see it with Joe Evans and Amber Flores both coming out of their dugout, talking to this defense. Carolina already 3 for 5 in the game with runners on base. Aubrey Leach takes outside ball one. Aubrey has had an interesting year offensively. She leads this team in walks with 10, but is only hitting .229 on the year. She's had a hit or a walk in all but 3 games. She is certainly a luxury, though, in the 9-hole and in a spot like this.
When you know that the Spark are going to be quick to making pitching changes, being able to use their entire staff, than maybe going one time through with Maya Johnson, trying to keep the Blaze off balance, or at least just see how she does the first time through the order. Jalen Ford currently warming up at the bullpen. Elena Vaughter was also up there just a second ago. So a couple of veterans that have good experience as professionals in the wings.
We've seen them on numerous occasions. We got to call the home opener for Portland against Oklahoma City, a series that the Spark took 2 or 3 games in, and very much a bullpen approach in that. It was one time through, maybe a couple innings max, and they would move on. They re-entered pitchers in that as well. And to your point, certainly an all-hands-on-deck situation this weekend. Johnson misses low. The bases loaded with nobody out.
Well, the one thing that the Spark have in their back pocket is knowing that they have the offense that can score runs quickly. This Spark team leads the league in home runs. They are led offensively by 2 Hitter of the Year candidates, and Sydney Romero at shortstop and Maya Brady in center field have put up big numbers for them. So not a team that's going to panic if they do give up some runs, because they have the bats, especially on a field like here at the Duke Softball Stadium that's 190 down the lines. It bodes well for a home run hitting team and the Spark to be able to get back in this thing.
And here is that pitching change we were talking about. Question is, who is it going to be? Vaughter had come back into the dugout already just a few moments ago, so maybe Elena Vaughter. Jalen Ford is still out throwing in the bullpen. Whoever it is coming into a nasty situation. And it's going to be the 3rd-year pro out of Kansas City, Missouri, Elena Vaughter. So while she gets set, we will step away. Bases loaded, no outs. Can OKC get out of the jam?
Circle for the Oklahoma City Spark, right-hander number 15, Elena Vaughter.
Elena Vaughter played her college ball first at Stanford and then finished at South Carolina. She also plays professionally in Japan. Had a fantastic outing last Sunday in their series-clinching win over Utah. Complete game, just gave up 6 hits and 2 earned runs while striking out just 1. So someone who's comfortable pitching to contact.
A good opportunity here with the bases loaded to trust this infield back behind her that is full of a lot of veterans and experience. I mean, this infield is going to be looking to turn a double play ground ball. It's a big reason I think they brought Vaughter in. Heavy on the drop ball, will also mix in a changeup.
It's the #1 defense in the league, a .981 fielding percentage. That's the only team over .980. They're 3rd in double plays, 9 on the season. But this is a hot hitter right now, Dakota Kennedy. Tries to wait on that pitch, but Kennedy falls behind 0-2. 5 for 8, a pair of doubles, a home run, and a couple RBIs in the last 2 games. 0 for 2 with the bases loaded this year.
Her strikeouts as of recently for Dakota Kennedy have been kind of piling up. She didn't strike out a ton to begin the season. This is an important part here where she just makes contact, puts the ball in play, and tries to put pressure on this Spark defense.
1-2 from Vaughter. And to catch the outside corner with those last two pitches, both outside. Blaze had 6 of 9 batters reach the first time through the order. 4 hits, 2 walks. Kennedy was not one of them. Grounded out to first base. Swings through it, and Gordon squeezes it behind the plate. Big out number 1. And here is the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, Reese Atwood. 8 home runs, tied for the league lead, 21 RBIs.
And what's been happening with Reese Atwood coming to the plate in the last 8 to 10 games that the Blaze have played, that their offense has really cooled off, but Reese Atwood hasn't. Teams have recognized that, pitched around her. They did the same thing in her first at-bat in the first inning. She did not get anything to hit, but they don't have that option now. And look at Elena Vaughter going right at her. Change up for the first strike, drop ball outside, didn't get the call. But you can tell, I mean, there's nowhere to put her. She's gonna have to find corners with her drop ball, and a chance to get a double play here with Reese up.
Reese Atwood hit 74 home runs in her Texas career. Takes another off-speed pitch and falls behind 1-2. Two-time national champion, 3-time All-American. Vaughter got her. How about that from Elena Vaughter? There's 2 outs.
Talk about being ready for the moment. Elena Vaughter not getting the start, comes in a critical situation, season on the line, bases loaded, facing the top of the order. It does not get much tougher than this, but back-to-back strikeouts for Vaughter. Now she is just 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
Here is Bailey Klingler, whose lone home run on the season was a grand slam in a comeback win over Oklahoma City.
Well, there's actually going to be an action clock violation for that first, I'm not even going to say pitch, but first time, as now it's going to be a 2-0 count. She's only thrown 1 pitch, but there was a action clock violation called on her.
Klingler ground ball scooped up by McKinney. Elena Vaughter comes in and slams the door shut in a bases loaded situation. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to keep it a 1-run game. Carolina going to the third inning, but the biggest moment in this game we just saw it. Elena Vaughter coming in, and you can circle the bottom of the second inning as maybe the biggest point in this game.
And you have one job, throw strikes and get outs. Actually, that's two jobs, and she handled both of them perfectly. Attacked the zone, worked her drop ball, threw strikes right away. And the hitters that she faced in that inning were the top of the order for the Blaze, the three hottest hitters in their lineup right now, Dakota Kennedy, Reese Atwood, and Bailey Klingler, being able to get 3 outs for the first 3 hitters that she faced. No more runs put on the board.
She had 2 strikeouts in 13 innings pitched entering that outing right there, and just had 2 strikeouts to help herself out of that frame. How do the Spark respond? A top 2 offense in the league behind Chicago. They lead the league in home runs. Sarah Gordon to left field, right to another rookie in Dakota Kennedy.
Trying to figure out Carlin Pickens' first time through. The hardest thrower in the league is going to be the rookie in Carlin Pickens, and one of the hardest throwers, if not the hardest thrower in the world. So trying to see how she's hitting her corners with her drop ball early in this game, and then how she's being able to mix speeds early too. And she hasn't been as sharp in her last 3 appearances. Hitters hitting over 300 off of her compared to the entire year, just 224. And I think maybe getting a little tired, maybe leaving her drop ball over the heart of the plate more, but doing a good job with her drop ball and locating it so far.
All these walk-off losses that Carolina has experienced recently. Carlin was on the field as the pitcher for 3 straight. And we talked about it all last week when we had them against Texas, but it wasn't that she was really throwing that poorly. She was a little down from her numbers to start the year, but overall was still one of the top arms in the league. It was just a lot of bad luck.
You know, he's talking about this with a friend, but just think about how probably fatigued these rookies are feeling at this point. Like Reese Atwood back behind the plate, like Carlin Pickens in the circle, like Maya Johnson, who started this game for the Spark. They have been playing softball since February. And it's one thing to play softball since February, but when you're going into your senior year, like all of these rookies did, you have more pressure on you. You're fighting to win a national championship. You are trying to be leaders on your team. You're soaking in every second of the final college season that you're going to have. And so then you quickly turn around, most of these players playing at the Women's College World Series, and immediately come and play in the AUSL 5 to 7 days after your senior season ended. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that maybe Carlin Pickens and probably all the rookies are a little fatigued and just kind of running on adrenaline, knowing that the end of the season is near.
3-2 pitch to Grace Jenkins. And it's the end of the season is near, but the end of their softball summer is not near, because Carlin, Reese, a number of these athletes across the league will also suit it up in the red, white, and blue. A couple of events and a couple different Team USAs this year. Carlin and Reese will not be on the same team. There's another strikeout for Pickens, her 3rd.
Yeah, she's had one in every inning. A strikeout in each of the innings that she's thrown. She'll face the top of the lineup now, getting a chase by Grace Jenkins on that drop ball outside, well out of the zone.
Outside ball 1. This is Sydney McKinney, the 4th-year pro out of Wichita State. We welcome you to Durham, North Carolina. Big day for Oklahoma City. A win, and they guarantee they have an opportunity over the next couple days to make the postseason. A loss in Portland later today against Texas could finish off the playoffs. They could clinch that 3rd spot. Chicago and Utah at the top of the standings alongside Amanda Scarborough and Anna Camden. I'm Chucky Kemp. Just a few days remaining in this 2026 AUSL season. In the air to left field, Kennedy coming toward the foul line and makes the catch. 3 scoreless for the superstar rookie Carlin Pickens against OKC.
The significance around the navy blue in this glove represents colorectal cancer awareness. My biological family and my adoptee family both have had losses to colon cancer, so I just went ahead and thought that this would be a good year to do a colon glove. I'm just wearing my emotions, wearing my heart on my hand this season, and I couldn't be prouder.
That feature presented by LabCorp, the official consumer health testing partner of the AUSL. Mackenzie Clark, one of the best personalities in this league. Always so much fun when we get to talk to Mackenzie, both on the field, in the dugout, and outside of the game.
Probably keeping her bingo scorecard in the dugout right now. She makes a bingo card before every game, and they put different plays on there. She gets help from her teammates for what to put on there. For example, a diving catch, a double play, like can put any type of different things on the bingo card, but she is the one that keeps the dugout loose, and a lot of energy from Mackenzie Clark. Oh my gosh, our camera people are amazing. There's the bingo card currently being worked on by Mackenzie Clark.
Anna knows all about the bingo card. Anna, do you have any insight into what we're looking for today?
Of course I do, Chucky. So there are 4 things that could get the Blaze bingo at this moment. A home run, a double play, a diving play, or a PFP. And of course, Mackenzie Clark is the one keeping track of all that stuff down there in the dugout.
Cagle lines out to McKinney on the left side. I saw PFP on there. That's the one that stood out to me. I'm always a fan of pitcher-fielder practice.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really practice if you're in it, right?
I know, it is funny how we call it PFP in game, even though it's not practice, and that's what it's called at practice for short.
Has that always been the terminology? Like back when you played, was that also terminology?
We did not use that.
It makes me feel better because I was just enlightened about that like 4 or 5 years ago. Changed my life.
I know, I wonder why that became a thing.
Alyssa Brito 1 for 1 in the game. She delivered the only run, an RBI single in the left field on the first pitch she saw. Swung first pitch here against Elena Vaughter, so you feel like there's a pretty concerted effort for Brito to be aggressive at the plate in this game. Now a 1-1 from Vaughter. A little off speed and a spinner left side. Sid Romero, low throw, and I don't know that it would have got Brito anyway. We'll see how they rule it. Monday night, the Dodgers take on the Phillies, 7 Eastern, and then the Cardinals face the Angels at 10 Eastern. Catch both games live on ESPN and streaming on the ESPN app. Second half of the MLB season is underway. You can see the home run derby champ, Jordan Walker, take on the Angels in that Cardinals-Angels game. And Shohei, he's pretty good for the Dodgers. You
I've heard about him. Yeah.
That did go down as an infield single for Alyssa Brito, so a 2-hit game for her. One on for Jenna Laird. Laird, hard ground ball, Wiz steps on the bag. The tag not quite in time. Brito in there under the tag of a fellow Sooner, Romero.
Elena Vaughter has just done such a good job throwing ground balls, strikeouts since she's entered into this game. And you think about the last game that she threw was a complete game start. It was her best game of the season. But that's what all of these veterans who have come back from the Japan Diamond League, the 3 starters, the 3 pitchers on this pitching staff who they did not have early in the season, that's what they've been able to do. You can tell they've gotten more comfortable in the circle, and the ERA improvement from June to July has shown it. The Spark pitching staff just started with 5 rookies, but Vaughter being a big part of the pitching staff that came back from Japan.
Romero on the move, makes the play to retire Kowalik. Elena Vaughter puts up another 0, and we are on to the 4th inning.
Your score, Spark 0,
Game came back in the bottom of the first. Alyssa Brito bringing in Reese Atwood. That is how we got here. 1-0 Brito, a two-hit game already. Carolina trying to play spoiler against Oklahoma City as we go to the fourth inning. Carlin Pickens has been perfect to this point, and she'll try to continue that against the top of this Oklahoma City order. Maya Brady will lead things off against Pickens. We also have a special guest joining us in the field, Bailey Klingler, the fourth-year pro. She's from Houston, Texas, played her college ball at Washington. Bailey, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Maya Brady will lead this inning off against Pickens.
Yeah. Yes.
All right,
Good.
Bailey, unfortunately, obviously, playoffs not in the picture for you guys, but we're not seeing that. This mentality that you've come out with has been so motivated. What's kind of driving that force for you guys this weekend?
I think really it's just building our organization and what we want to stand for, you know, like when we know we're not going to have a playoff run, like we get to choose what kind of team we want to be, the team that kind of rolls over and says it doesn't matter, or do we want to get closer to our goal of just being the best versions of ourselves and kind of defining that. So we're just trying to be better every pitch, every game, and lean on one another.
1-2 pitch to Brady from Pickens.
Oh.
In the air to center, Maya Brady, a solo shot, ties it up.
Yeah, car. Yeah, car. Yeah. Shut it down.
New batter.
Hey.
Brady's league high
This batter
ninth
matters. Let's go.
home run
Come on.
ties it up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, car. Got you, bud.
Bailey, how difficult is it to decide where you want to play on somebody like Amaya Brady, who has that pop but also can lay down a bunt? I know that she's not hit anymore, but I was dying to ask you this when she was up at the plate.
Yeah, I think it's just about knowing.
Romero to right field, back-to-back home runs for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, car. Right back. Got you, bud. Got you. Here we go. Yeah, to answer your question, I think it's just about
Up to the plate, number 97.
knowing that Carlin throws
Delaney
gas,
Wiz.
and I mean, if Maya turns and burns on 73, 74, 75 hard in, then that's just really great for her. But yeah, haven't seen that really yet from a lefty all season. So just trying to play our game and trust Carr. See you.
Delaney Wiz at the plate now. Bailey, what's next for you? We've kind of talked about the summer. We know you came from Japan, but what's next for you after this season?
After the season, well, we have USA training camp, and then All-Star Cup, which is exciting. A little different format this season, and then after All-Star Cup, I'll go back to Japan.
Wiz to deep center. 3 straight home runs for Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Carr.
We appreciate the time from Bailey Klingler. Oklahoma City just interrupting our conversation with an absolutely game-changing inning.
I mean, the difference in this inning, we talked about why Carlin Pickens had been successful early. It was because she was putting her drop ball on the corners of the plate. The drop ball to Romero, the drop ball to Wiz, those were the last 2 home runs, were right over the heart of the plate. And Spark leads the AUSL in home runs, especially these top 4 hitters in their lineup. 5, you could put Amari Harper in there as well with her home run power as a rookie. I mean, they have this power in the top of their lineup. You cannot miss over the plate, especially when you're a hard thrower like Carlin Pickens throwing 74 miles an hour.
Anna Camden has a couple of the home run hitters in the dugout.
Yeah, you guys have just completely come on fire. What did you see on that pitch?
I was honestly just trying to put a good swing to a good pitch. We know with Carlin, she's going to attack the zone. She's a competitor, so just trying to get a good swing off.
It's no secret what's at stake here, Maya. How important is each at-bat?
Each at-bat is super important, I think, but doing it together is what's most important for us. I think something that we've emphasized all year is, like, it doesn't matter what result we get, but as long as we fight hard for 7 innings. And obviously we're fighting against a great team, talented pitching staff, and great hitters. So I think just doing it together and fighting for, you know, a couple more days together.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy. Back to you guys.
21 home runs in the last 11 games for Oklahoma City. They've hit a league high 37 on the year. They didn't have a hit entering this inning. They had one base runner. It was a walk back in the second inning, and they hit back-to-back-to-back home runs. And Amari Harper would love to continue that trend. She has actually homered in each of the last 2 games.
That's what I was talking about. We're used to talking 1 through 4 in this Spark lineup with some pop, but you have to throw Amari Harper, who just struck out, into the mix too with the pop that she's shown as a rookie, especially as of late. But I think the thing that hurts, those back-to-back-to-back home runs all came on pitchers' counts for Carlin Pickens. Maya Brady, 1-2 count. Sid Romero, 0-1 count. Delaney Wiz, 1-2 count. You just can't do that against aggressive hitters that are going to be looking to hit with 2 strikes.
Ball one high to Sydney Sherrill. Hitless in the last 2 for Sherrill after she had an 8-game hit streak with 4 multi-hit games in that span, hitting just under 300. Pickens missing outside. Oklahoma City has 6 qualified hitters hitting 280 or better, plus Sid McKinney, who entered today hitting 442. And the crazy part about McKinney is she has the 4th most hits on the team despite only playing in 12 games. In the span of about 3 minutes, the playoff picture just completely changed. Not in the sense of wins and losses, but for 3 innings there, Portland kind of felt like, okay, maybe we will have an opportunity to end this tonight. And all of a sudden, here comes Oklahoma City.
And that's why we had mentioned, as Carlin Pickens gets another strikeout, that the spark can come back into this game. Even if the Blaze were winning like 3-0, 5-0, it doesn't matter because they have the ability to hit the long ball and swing themselves back into the game, which is exactly what they did. And the good thing for the Blaze is that all 3 of those home runs were solo shots, which makes it seem not as painful on the scoreboard, but just as painful if you're Carlin Pickens, knowing that you gave up back-to-back-to-back home runs in pitchers' counts.
0-1 pitch to Bubba Nichols Camarena, strike 2. For our audience on ESPN, you're going to go to Las Vegas for the NBA Summer League Challenge at 5 o'clock. For our game here in Durham, we are going to go over to ESPN 2. So you can continue watching us on ESPN 2 for the remainder of this game. Foul ball off the bat of Bubba. After this game concludes, there will be 4 games left in the AUSL regular season. 2 of those 4 will be played right here on this field at Duke. Smith Family Stadium sold out for all 3 games of this series. Good. 0-2 from Pickens. In the dirt.
Has to be so frustrating for Carlin Pickens the way that this inning has gone down. I mean, she was looking so good first time through. And that 1-2 pitch to Maya Brady really turned this game when she lifted it out of here. Between this inning and Elena Vottor coming in with the bases loaded and no outs, these are the biggest moments in the game by far, especially Vottor entering in relief when the Blaze could score more.
And this this 3 spot could have very well come in the bottom of the second for Carolina, and this would be a much different conversation right now. There's been constant work in the Oklahoma City bullpen, but hard to imagine Elena Vauders in any fear of coming out of this game, regardless of what the plan was. As good as she has looked, I would think you stick with her longer if you did think you were going to take her out. Two-two, great battle here for Bubba against Pickens. 3-2. Oklahoma City has hit 7 home runs in 2.5 games against Carolina. 3 of them in this inning, back to back to back. And Bubba walks to keep it going with 2 outs. ESPN is the home of MLB.tv. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand using the ESPN app. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For more information, go to ESPN.com/MLB.tv. Ball one inside to Sarah Gordon.
The Blaze will have the top of their order coming up. It'll be 8, 9, and 1. A couple of energy players down at the bottom with Gold and Leach, and it's going to be up to them to get this crowd back into it when they have a chance to hit. I mean, this has felt like a huge blow to this crowd, to the body language of the Blaze out in the field right now, to Carlin Pickens. You can tell everybody kind of feels it, but knowing that they have a chance to answer back with 8, 9, and 1 coming up and a chance to get at Elena Vauder in the circle.
There's kind of a hum in the air this whole time. Completely silenced in this inning. Into right field, maybe playable in foul territory. It is, and it's tracked down out there by Cagle. Here comes OKC.
And this is what they do. This is how they win. Hitting the long ball, leading the league in home runs as a team and as individuals. Maya Brady now with 9. Sid Romero now with 9. That's at the top of the league. Nobody has hit more than them. And then Delaney Wiz back to back to back home run punches by the Spark. They take the lead 3-1.
Oklahoma City leads Carolina as their playoff push is heating up even further. And the home runs have been a big part of it this year for Oklahoma City. They lead the league, 37 of them. Chicago right behind them with 25, tied with the law firm of Brady, Romero, and Wiz.
I like that. You haven't told me that off air. You just came up with that on air, and I really like that. Between the 3 of them with Romero, Brady, and Wiz. Got to see it in action that last inning.
actually showed a combination graphic between Sid Romero and Maya Brady offensively off the top. You could very well throw Delaney Wiz into that conversation. Now all of them have at least 7 home runs on the year. Romero and Brady have moved away from the pack at 8 and are now tied for the league lead with 9 home runs on the year. That matches last year's total. This is hit hard to left field, and that is gone. Anna Gold leaves the yard. Back-to-back games with a home run, her 4th of the year. On the field where she is the 2nd all-time leader in home runs in Duke program history.
And that is what the Blaze needed. When Carlin Pickens was out there giving up the home runs and the team felt deflated, the fans felt deflated, we said, wait, Gold, Leach, and Kennedy, 8, 9, and 1 are coming up and could give this crowd the energy to get back in it.
Now Aubrey Leach essentially in the spot she's been in all year in a leadoff situation, nobody on base. And nobody out for Aubrey Leach. The home run hitter Anna Gold is with Anna Camden.
All right, you're pretty comfortable in this field, clearly. What worked for you at that at-bat?
Yeah, I think just trying to hit the ball from the middle of the field, and I knew she had a changeup and she hadn't thrown it to me yet, so I was kind of guessing that she was going to throw it there, and I saw it and just stayed through it.
That was going to be another one there. Your team is no longer in this playoff race, but you guys aren't playing that. You're fighting really hard. Where does that mentality come from?
Yeah, I think we're still trying to build our brand as a team and who we are, you know, and we're not letting up just because we're not in the playoffs. Like, we're a tough team, we're gritty, we're still competitive, and we're trying to win out the rest of the season.
Thanks, Anna.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
It's clearly been a talking point with this team. That, like, this is about the franchise now. That is the Carolina Blaze. As Dakota Kennedy lifts it to center, Brady back to the track and makes the catch. But they're talking about setting the foundation. This is still a packed house. You want to show your fans, hey, come on out next year. We'll be in the playoffs then. Keep giving us that support.
They've still been fun to watch. I mean, this Blaze team has just had some heartbreakers in the second half of the season, and I'm sure that their fans have felt it. They've felt it. Their general manager, Dana Sorensen, have felt it. I mean, it's just not been easy, but this is going to be a team that's going to put a fighting, competitive, talented product out on the field, and it's why these fans want to come out and watch them despite losing 8 in a row.
Reese Atwood trying to give her general manager sitting in the middle there, Dana Sorensen, something to get on her feet about and tie this game. 1-1 from Vaughter, ground ball right side. Sydney Sherrill is onto it. Vaughter gives up one, another home run.
Well, and another one on a changeup. There is something about the way that Anna Gold is seeing changeups on this field where she is so comfortable but able to recognize them, sit back on them, and drive them over the left field wall. Anna Gold answers back with that one swing, another solo home run.
tomorrow at Smith Family Stadium for Game 2 of the series between the Spark and Blaze. First pitch at noon Eastern on ESPN, and as always, streaming on the ESPN app. Oklahoma City currently 4th in the standings. They have one extra game, though, to play than Portland. So it's really simple. All they got to do is match Portland's win total for the year or surpass it because they have the tiebreaker over the Cascade.
All coming down until the end. Portland will play later tonight. So we had a triple header of softball, Talons Bandits. That was an awesome game. Went to an extra inning, and the Bandits ended up walking it off. And so tomorrow is an important game. That will be the series finale between the Talons and Bandits for first place, the #1 overall seed.
Who gets a bye? Does not have to play that play-in game that the 2 and 3 seed have to play to get to the 3-game series. We do have a new pitcher. Carlin Pickens exits after 4 innings. Gave up the 3 runs, 3 solo shots back to back to back last inning, but she was lights out. She had a no-hitter through 3.
The last inning was tough with the 3 home runs and the back-to-back strikeouts after it. So a little bit of everything for Carlin Pickens was felt, but the lead was surrendered. And Keilani Ricketts, the veteran, will enter into this game for the rookie.
Keilani's numbers, ERA just over 4 on the year, 2-5 record, gets Jenkins on strikes. Not just obviously the left-hander versus the right-hander and the differences, but Keilani is such a unique delivery compared to Carlin Pickens.
Yeah, just so different. And I think that her unique release, with the way that she gets to her release point, it hides the ball, especially from left-handed hitters, but right-handed hitters alike. And like that last pitch that she struck out Jenkins on had 10 inches down of vertical break. So if it's kind of hidden at the release point and it's breaking almost a foot down, lefty on lefty matchup, that's going to be tough to get your barrel to.
This is back to the top of the order. Sydney McKinney and Maya Brady due up next to face Ricketts. Keilani enters at a spot where she will face the 3 consecutive lefties before Sid Romero and Delaney Wiz. 0-2 to McKinney. Just misses outside. Not heard anything to think that Keilani Ricketts would not return next year, and if she does, that would be her 15th professional season. Finished her college career at Oklahoma as a back-to-back USA Softball Player of the Year in 2012 and 2013. She was the first player in Oklahoma history to win that award.
And she has just been so consistent and reliable. They have leaned on her a lot in relief. They trust her in high leverage moments. They trust her to follow, because she is so unique, to follow a lot of the other pitchers on their pitching staff, because it gives such a different look.
Popped up, easy out for Anna Gold in foul territory. 2 away for Ricketts.
Look how different this is when you think about Ricketts on the right side especially. Look at how she hides the ball. Okay, it comes back behind her. So you're going from a right-handed Pickens to a left-handed Ricketts, where she almost brings the ball behind her as Maya Brady strokes another one.
You cannot hide anything from Maya Brady. A home runner last at bat, a double this time off Ricketts. And Oklahoma City, an offense that is one of the best in the business with 2 outs, is back at it again.
And Maya Brady looking early in the count. Look at her stay on this pitch that is moving low and away from her. That is still a little bit off the end of her bat. Chucky, that exit velocity was 80 miles an hour on a pitcher's pitch moving away from her. She barreled it up to the right side.
She is just different. Despite Oklahoma City leading this game 3-2, this is the first time they've had a runner in scoring position, and we are in the 5th. Sid Romero, the second of those back-to-back-to-back home runs. Makes a mighty hack at that and fouls it out of play. Sydney looking for her 12th multi-hit game of the year.
The year that she has put together. offensively. And then what she's done defensively, too, at shortstop has been a special, special year for her, and why she's going to be a Hitter of the Year candidate with her teammate at second base, Maya Brady.
That gets Romero, so she does reach for the second time. Oklahoma City back-to-back base runners with 2 outs.
Now batting, first baseman number 97, Delaney
Third
Woods.
time in AUSL history, a team has gone back-to-back-to-back home runs. Delaney whiz to left, Kennedy goes back, and she makes the catch. Ricketts strands a pair, and we're going to the bottom of the 5th in Durham.
Fans, as a reminder, during these high temperatures during today's game, we want you to enjoy safely. Please remember to stay hydrated.
Hit her shoulder. Do you guys have anything that clean to me? Looks clean to you too?
You go, but
They think it's faster. They think it's faster.
Does you take too long to walk?
Yeah, I guess.
Or microphone?
I'm not. When they're around the batter's box, I'm not going to nitpick that. But listen, when she hasn't even made an attempt to even look up at 0, I have no choice but to call the pitch clock violation.
Okay.
All she's got to do is call time, and I'm going to give it to her.
Okay, I got you.
You see
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you.
I mean, she didn't even look.
I got you. All right, that's on me. I got you.
That's Alex Leap, our home plate umpire, mic'd up, and that was the conversation with Amber Flores about a pitch clock violation we saw earlier in this game on Elena Vaughter. Just so interesting to hear those conversations that we see all the time, but we never know what's exactly happening, and love that the AUSL has given us that access.
Pulling the curtain back a little bit and have an understanding what those conversations are like. What are the coaches really talking to them about? What are they talking amongst each other whenever they meet in the field? I always want to know. I just always want to know what they're talking about.
Could you be an umpire? Could you be an umpire?
No. Yeah, no. I don't think I could do it. So much credit goes out to every umpiring crew that we have. It is such a difficult job, and can't do this without them. A lot of respect for those guys.
Can you imagine Shonda Stanton running out of the dugout at you?
No.
I'd run the other way. I'd run off the field. There's strike one. Shonda, the head coach of the Chicago Bandits, has been an excellent addition, as have all the coaches this year. All new head coaches in the league. Amber Flores actually has been the Oklahoma City head coach since the franchise's inception a few years ago. But this being their first year in the AUSL, so her first taste of it as well, as Bailey Klingler leads off the 5th inning with a base hit. Two-hit game for Bailey Klingler.
Stepping up to the plate, number 72, Valerie Cagle.
5-game hit streak now for Bailey. And here is Val Cagle, who is 0 for 2. Ball one outside from Elena Vaughter.
So Maddie Penta is the probable starter for Game 2 for the Spark, and Elena Vaughter is a probable starter for Game 3. And I mean, that has been the the difference maker with their pitching staff is Jalen Ford being able to throw complete games, Elena Vaughter being able to throw complete games, and Maddie Penta really turning her season as well, as she's currently in the bullpen right now. But I think that they finally got comfortable coming over from Japan, joining this new team, and probably transitioning from the flights and a long season that they had been working in Japan, just trying to fit back in, get comfortable in the circle and with their new team. And I think that you're seeing it with the results that they've had in the circle, and why Oklahoma City is in position to put themselves in a playoff position because of their turnaround.
Ground ball toward Romero. They get the force at second, and Cagle is aboard on the fielder's choice.
Because in June, Oklahoma City was giving up a lot of runs, a lot of earned runs. And then in July, their pitching staff has really started to figure this thing out. And we talked about it. They have the best defense in the league. They've only committed, what, eight or nine errors the whole year. This is a trustworthy defense that has been backing up their pitching staff and not allowing as many runs as what they were doing in July.
Amber Flores coming out. This might be a pitching change coming. There's the numbers, 5-9 in June, a 5.57 ERA, but in July, 6-2 with a 3.63 ERA. They have held their opponents to 3 or less in their 6 wins over the last 8 games. They're 6-2 in the last 8 games and have held their opponents to 3 earned runs or less. It's the lefty Jalen Ford who will enter this game. Bottom of the 5th, 1 out when we come back. Together, hers came on Tuesday over Texas, scattered 9 hits and gave up just 2 earned, but struck out 8, and that's really what she can do, Amanda. Her strikeout numbers well above 1 per inning.
Yeah, when she is on, she's on. She's getting a lot of swings and misses, a lot of chase with her curve and her rise. She's looked good, really good at times.
Brito to left field, blasted, and Carolina jumps back in front. It's the 3rd of the year for Alyssa Brito.
Stepping up to the plate, number 17.
Yeah, she got all of that. Welcome to the game, Jalen Ford. Here's Alyssa Brito, bomb.
Carolina's offense strikes back. OKC is on the ropes.
I mean, Brito, no doubter off of her bat. There are young girls out in left field behind the wall with their gloves waiting for bombs over that left field fence, and they were like ecstatic to see one coming their way that they're going to get to track down. I didn't know if it was going to get stuck in that tree behind left field, but 190 down the line, it didn't even matter. 260 off of her bat.
Laird strikes out. There's 2 away.
That'd be devastating for Jalen Ford. Just so mad that she got to that pitch. And Chucky, I said this during the break. I didn't quite understand why the pitching change happened at that time. I mean, Aleyna Vaughter was kind of rolling, and not to be the armchair quarterback kind of looking back and saying, oh, that's not what I would have done. But we talked about that during the break. Why is Aleyna Vaughter coming out of this game when it looked like she was doing a really good job? Just seemed like it was too quick to pull Vaughter out of this game to me.
0-1 from Ford. Let's go down to Anna with Alyssa Brito.
Alyssa, 3rd home run of the year for you, and it was a big one. What'd you like about that pitch?
Yeah, I was just really looking for something high velo, and Jalen Ford's one of those that is always competing every pitch, so I knew I had to be on time if she was going to come in, and just got my barrel out.
How quick did you have to make that adjustment, seeing her step into the circle?
You know, obviously with Vaughter being a lot of downspin, with her being higher velo and also a little bit more upspin, I just knew I had to get turned because she's the type that's going to run the ball in, and she's not afraid to. So,
thanks, Alyssa. Back to you guys.
And that'll do it for the inning. Blaze plate 2. Back and forth we go. Carolina up 1.
Carolina up on Oklahoma City 4-3 because of an Alyssa Brito home run. That was a no-doubter. The way that she got her barrel out in front to that Jalen Ford curveball, trying to work it up and in on her hands. You could tell that Brito had a plan, and her plan was to get to that pitch, waiting for Jalen Ford to bring it inside. She did. She sent it out of here, and now the Blaze have the lead.
Alyssa Brito could be the difference maker for Carolina next year. If you look at some of the numbers for Brito offensively, Gold offensively, those are 2 hitters that could really change the fortunes of this lineup next year. Didn't probably produce at the level that Dana Sorensen was expecting them to, but you know they're capable. Mari Harper hit by that pitch to lead off this 6th inning, so the tying run is aboard for OKC.
When you're seeing these lefties get right on top of the plate against Keilani Ricketts, just daring her to throw them inside. And saw Grace Jenkins was the first batter that Ricketts faced, a left-handed hitter. She was doing the same thing. So these lefties trying to get right on the plate.
Harper now been hit by 10 pitches this year. Big reason why her on-base percentage is 2nd best on this team. Sydney Sherrill, 0-1 count from Ricketts. Showing bunt, but pulls back.
And it must be fun for this Spark team. I'm just imagining being a player and feeling like you're playing for something again. This Spark team existed last year in a different league, in a different way, joined the AUSL as an expansion team. And even if they were on that team last year, they weren't playing for something as big as this. And even Amber Flores, as the head coach, just has to love that feeling inside of her to compete for something with meaning, like all the games in this series again.
Cheryl goes down on strikes, and there's one away here in the 6th. Amber Flores actually talked to us about that, about the league as a whole. She talked about the resources that they have as far as the analytics and the data and the video that they can use to prep for these teams and scout, but also just the level of competition, and somebody who has been a great competitor as a player back in her day at Oklahoma, but now as a coach, and she's loving every minute of this.
To show up to the field and think something is at stake, not just a win or loss, but playoff implications and competing with each other for more and history. I mean, the first year of this league was just last year. The Talons will always have the first championship that's won in the AUSL, but it's going to be even cooler to have another first because you'll win a championship with 6 teams in the league this year for the first time. So continuing to have first in the AUSL, as this is still a really young league, and these games matter. The playoffs matter. You want to be a part of it in College Station at the end of July.
Foul ball, Bubba Nichols, Camarena at the plate, and a 2-2 count against Ricketts. A loss does not end Oklahoma City's hopes. It would give Portland a chance with a win tonight to book their ticket to the playoffs.
Remember, one swing can do it for the Spark. Lead the league in home runs. Can't stress that enough. All 3 of their runs have been scored by the long ball. One swing gets them back into it. Not only back into it, gives them the lead. And this field is shorter down the lines. 190 to left, 190 to right. Makes it a little bit shorter, I believe, too, to center field. So that is the type of ballpark that the Spark want to be hitting in for moments like this.
Bubba to right field. Hagel going back and makes the catch. There's 2 outs. Sunday on ABC, the WNBA season rolls on. The LA Sparks take on the Dallas Wings at 1 Eastern, with Countdown kicking things off at 12:30. Catch all the action live or stream on the ESPN app. Love that matchup, this little matinee in the WNBA. Is tomorrow on ESPN. AUSL regular season comes to a close Monday night. We will have the final game of the regular season, the only game that day, between Oklahoma City and Carolina. The question remains, will it be for something? Will Oklahoma City be playing for a spot in the postseason? Into left field, Kennedy couldn't quite get up to it. A 2-out base hit for Sarah Gordon.
Well, this becomes the biggest out in the game right here. Grace Jenkins is not going to come up to the plate. It's going to be Haley Lee, but this is a massive hitter for Kaylani Ricketts to go up against.
Haley Lee, who has found herself in more of a reserve role in the last couple weeks of this season, with the addition of Sarah Gordon, who has been doing a lot of the catching, has moved Delaney Wiz over to first base. Haley Lee's had a tough year at the plate, but she's got a lot of power and comes through on the first pitch. Joe Evans will hold Harper at third base, but job done for Haley Lee.
Because now you have to face the top of the order for the Spark, and Sydney McKinney will come up. She has been quietly one of the best hitters in the AUSL both seasons, kind of flies under the radar with Brady, Romero, and Wiz and their home run power, but hitting for average, clutchness. Look at over a 400 batting average. This is a big pickup for the Spark in the expansion draft.
McKinney and a rare 0 for 3. First pitch swing, and she is speedy. Got to go to second for the force, and Carolina gets out of it. Kaylani Ricketts strands the bases loaded. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Blaze up 1.
The first pitching change worked for the Spark. Elena Vaughter entered in relief with the bases loaded, no outs. Got 2 strikeouts and a ground ball out to get out of the inning. The Spark had the lead at that point. Then in the 5th inning, they decided to pull Elena Vaughter out of the game with a runner on, and Jalen Ford entered to face Alyssa Brito, who hit a 2-run home run off of her. The first batter Ford faced. Brito took her yard and gave the Blaze the lead.
Just the 5th time this year Carolina has hit multiple home runs in a game. They've done it in back-to-back now. The question is this one going to be a win? Last time out was their 8th consecutive loss. They are 3 outs away from severely damaging Oklahoma City's postseason hopes. They have a chance to get some insurance here in the bottom of the 6th. Anna Gold, one of the home run hitters. Big cut for strike 1.
How about all these close games that we've had the last 2 weeks of season? It has made things very interesting. So many walk-offs, 1-run games, 2-run games. The majority of the games have been close games, just like this.
This team's drafted prior to last year from scratch, and then coming into year 2, 2 expansion teams added, the Cascade and the Spark. So you have an expansion draft. All the original 4 teams got to protect 5 players. Everybody else up for grabs in the expansion draft. And then to refill these rosters for the original teams and the 2 newcomers, the allocation draft, which was all the remaining players. Someone like a Jalen Ford came out of that, who was not in the league last year, that has been playing professionally for a long time. I say that just to say, of course there should be all these close games. This is exactly what we expected. Coming down to the final days of the season. Anna Gold finding her bat today. Her and Alyssa Brito both with 3 hit games.
So 6 of the hits have been off their bats. They have 9 hits total in this game, and Gold and Brito heating up here at the very end of the season, this last regular season series.
Brito and Gold 6 for 6. Couple homers, 4 RBIs. Aubrey Leach swinging first pitch into left center field. Back-to-back base hits to lead off the 6th inning and turn it over to the top of the order.
On the top of the order, we'll have a chance again here with runners on base. When we showed you that package of Elena Vaughter entering into the game with the bases loaded, the top of the order came up with no outs. Dakota Kennedy, Reese Atwood, and Bailey Klingler, and could not get it done. But here they have another chance in a close game, and they could really appreciate some insurance runs to go to 7th with.
Kennedy maybe looking to bunt there, but pulls it back for ball 1. Strike 1 on the very outer corner of the plate. Kennedy trying to make it 3 straight games with a hit. Up the middle, Ford got in the way and has to take the only play after it didn't stick in her glove at first.
Yeah, there are some days when Jalen Ford pitches that she just misses a lot of barrels, and you can tell from the minute that she steps into the circle that it's going to be one of those days for her. And then there's other days where there seems to be a lot of hard contact off of her, and even the contact, like an Aubrey Leach hit, falls into a gap, and the luck just really doesn't go her way. And it kind of seems like this outing is that latter of the two, a lot of hard contact off of her.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch. I was wondering what they might do here with Reese Atwood up and her base open at first, but they came right at her with that pitch.
They did, but even though it was a swing and miss, it's going to go down as a ball. There was an action clock violation on Jalen Ford, so it's going to be a 1-0 count instead of 0-1.
Do you pitch to her here?
No.
We have seen this in the last 7 days. We saw it in Round Rock, Texas. There was a base open against Texas, and Reese Atwood in this exact situation hit a 3-run home run. It ended up Texas won that game in walk-off fashion. But this is a must-have out for OKC. Atwood takes another mighty cut at that. It's a 1-2 count.
That pitch before that was a good pitch to hit right down the heart of the plate. Chase that rise ball up and in her hands to help out Jalen Ford to a pitcher's count.
Fearless Jalen Ford. Got her swinging. No need for the open base at first.
Especially if she's going to chase this rise ball 2 pitches in a row. That thing is moving. 5 to 6 inches of up break. That's a nice pitch by Jalen Ford to get the home run hitter Reese Atwood.
Klingler off the handle over to first. Wiz makes the play. Last chance for OKC. Down 1. Maya Brady coming up. Earlier this game, she started off a back-to-back-to-back run of home runs. Can she do it again? It's Brady, Romero, and Wiz coming up next for Oklahoma City. The AUSL is sponsored by Sephora. Sold out crowd at Smith Family Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, hoping the Blaze are going to play spoiler for Oklahoma City, who is a game back of Portland for the final spot. If they lose, Portland can clinch the final playoff spot tonight against Texas. First pitch of the 7th is in there for strike 1. If you asked Amber Flores, the head coach for Oklahoma City, you get 1 pick in the world. Who do you want at the plate? Down 1 in the 7th. I think she would tell you Maya Brady. 1-1 count.
She's just been so locked in big moments. I mean, she has been...
to right field, a no-doubter! Her 10th of the season, a new AUSL single-season record, and there was never a doubt Maya Brady would come through.
It is so quiet now at this field. Wow.
Tied up at 4 apiece in the 7th. And now Sydney Romero, you are a long way from safety here with Romero, Wiz, and Harper still due up in the inning. It's the first time all year that Carolina has allowed 4 home runs in a game. They didn't allow 3 home runs in their first 19 games of the season. Two-one pitch to Sid Romero. Off the end of the bat to shallow right, Jenna Laird makes the catch. Anna Camden with Maya Brady.
Maya, you just set the single season home run record in the AUSL, tied the game. Take us through that at-bat, because it was a big one.
Yeah, I respect Kaylani so much. I've looked up to her for a long time, and she's just a competitor. She has really nasty stuff, but just keeping it really simple. Just trying to do something for AV. She pitched a great game, and Jalen came in and I shut it down. So just trying to stay aggressive and stay within myself and make things happen.
Thanks, Maya. Back to you guys.
And I think that you can tell that she's kept things simple. Maya Brady doesn't have this big, massive swing. Her swing is simple, compact, and the ball just flies off of it because she is on time, lets pitches travel, doesn't try to do too much. I mean, it has led to so much of her success this year. And crazy to think about that she showed bunt the pitch before the home run, and what maybe could have been if she laid that bunt down.
Into shallow center, Aubrey Leach comes on, and there's 2 outs.
But her ability to just keep things simple. Front foot goes up, goes straight back down, hands and barrel go to the pitch directly, a line drive over the right field wall. And you just knew off of her bat with how it came off and the power that she has supplied all year. And you just kind of knew with her coming up, you could kind of feel it that might happen. So you call it stunning that she just did that. But if you've been following this league, it's not stunning because that's what Maya Brady has done all season long.
Ten home runs, Amanda. She missed 4 games, and the majority of a 5th one. Now out in front, alone in first place in the league with 10 home runs. Sydney Romero, her teammate, right behind her with 9, who also homered in this game. This Oklahoma City team has 38 on the year. It's an AUSL high. Ground ball right side. Jenna Laird makes a nice play on the move to retire Harper. But it's Maya Brady who keeps OKC alive.
The game just must feel so fun to Maya Brady to step up. Game on the line, down by 1, 7th inning, maybe playoffs on the line. You want her at the plate to do something like that.
AUSL tonight, 10 Eastern on CBS Sports Network, Texas and Portland Cascade. Not sure exactly what that game's going to mean, but they definitely need to win it. Sunday at noon Eastern, we are back here in Durham. Game 2 of this series. We'll finish this one up, and it's the AUSL regular season finale Monday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN2 between OKC and Carolina. Swing and a miss at the first pitch for Valerie Cagle against the lefty Jalen Ford. How many of these games has Carolina played in on this 8-game losing streak. And how many have they been on the wrong end of? 6 walk-off losses of their 8 consecutive as Cagle grounds out for out number 1.
We've already had 1 extra inning game today between the Talons and Bandits. Are we going to get another one, or is Alyssa Brito going to have a little something to say about that?
3-hit game for Brito, first of the year. And hit her 3rd home run of the season, her last at bat off Jalen Ford. She was the first batter to face the lefty in the circle.
I think we know one thing. She's probably not going to get up and in. I don't think that Jalen Ford is going to go to her curveball or a low rise ball up and in on the hands, because that is the pitch that Alyssa Brito sent out of here in a big way, big exclamation mark. So she's going to work her outside, a little change up.
Quickly behind in the count, 3-0. Brito takes. Brito back up the middle, and she gets Carolina going. The winning run is on first base.
This game just has to feel so good for her. I mean, this is the type of hitter that Alyssa Brito is at her core. It's not necessarily what we've seen the entire season, but this is who she is. I mean, that is a similar pitch location trying to get up and in her hands. This time she just shoots it up the middle for a single, but not too far away from the pitch location that she sent over the left field wall.
Pinch hitter is going to be Devin Netz. Former Big 12 Player of the Year, 2-way star at Arizona. Oklahoma City going to talk this over in the circle. Again, the Sparks season and postseason hopes do not end with a loss here. But they are officially not in control of their own destiny if they lose this game. It would give Portland an opportunity to win tonight and capture the 3rd postseason spot. Chicago and Utah are in. Tomorrow's game in Portland between those 2 teams is for the #1 seed and a first-round bye in the postseason. Brito on first for Devin Netz. Strike 1.
Outfield playing with their heels basically against the warning track. And Maya Brady took a couple of steps in, but look at her back up all the way. So a lot of space. If Devin Netz has some weak contacts, gets jammed for one to fall, but not going to let her beat them back, or the outfielders are not going to let her beat them to the wall, and a triple or something to the wall could potentially score something or score Alyssa Brito from first base.
Great job behind the plate by Sarah Gordon to block that pitch and keep the double play ball in play as Netz falls behind 1-2. "11 hits, ties a season high for Carolina." Netz fouls that off. They very well may be one more base hit into a gap away from walking this off against OKC. That's barely getting a tip on that ball.
Just spoiling it for a chance to get another pitch here.
Carolina's been involved in 9 of the 24 one-run games this season. They're 2-7 in those games. One of those 2 wins actually came against Oklahoma City at Oklahoma City a few weeks ago. Just misses 3-2. One out, one on. Kayla Kowalik, dangerous hitter on deck. Nets into right field, down for a base hit. And Brito will stay put at second base.
This pitch before was the one that Jalen Ford wanted. Did not get the call. Devin Nets had a lot of confidence in that take with the backdoor curveball, but Ford couldn't believe it, so she had to bring it up a little bit more in the zone for a backdoor curveball that Nets is able to get her barrel to and create a hit, and now 2 on for the Blaze.
And Kayla Kowalik deliver the winner. Behind that first pitch from Ford at 68 miles per hour for strike 1. Kowalik missed significant time on the injured list. This is just her 10th game played, but entered this series hitting .400. 1 for 3 in this one. Did she go? She did not.
And Jalen Ford gets good chase on her pitches up in the zone. She struck out Reese Atwood on a rise ball, got her to chase that pitch out of the zone a couple of times. Saw Kowalik do it. She's gonna have to have discipline against that pitch to have success in this AB.
Outside corner that time for Ford for strike 2. We talked about the big strikeout numbers. This would be the opportune spot for one if you're a Spark fan. Winning run on second base. Ford begging for that call on the outside corner and can't get it. It's another full count.
She is making some really good pitches in this inning. Not getting some of the calls, but locating these pitches very well, and even better takes right now from the Blaze hitters to put more pressure on her.
3-2 to Kowalik. Kowalik pops it up shallow left. Bubba Nichols Camarena makes the catch, 2 outs. Well, there is no one these fans are more familiar with than Anna Gold. Starred in her college career at Duke, second all-time on the home runs list for the Blue Devils, and did this earlier.
Hit a changeup out of here. So if Jalen Ford goes to that changeup, she has to be careful against Anna Gold. That is a pitch that she is seeing very well right now.
Takes strike 1. Gold with a 3-hit game, her first since June 10th. That was the second game of the season. Last year's AUSL Rookie of the Year. Popped up and into the stands. Jalen Ford is a strike away from sending game 2 of 3 in the AUSL today to extras. That would be each of the first 2 games seeing extra innings. Oh, 2. Gold reached on a bunt single, a solo home run, and another base hit in her 3 at-bats. Strike 3! Jalen Ford gets her on strikes and takes us to extras.
Game-winning run in scoring position, and Jalen Ford steps up. She made some really good pitches once runners got on. That was a low rise ball where she got the top of the zone against Anna Gold. And you know what? Let's head to extras.
Carolina with a season-high 12 hits, but not enough to get it done in regulation. We're going to extras, 4-4. Maya Brady, Anna Gold, Alyssa Brito, all massive days. Carlin Pickens started this game, gave up the 3 consecutive home runs to Brady Romero Wiz. And she re-enters here. Tiebreaker rule puts a runner on second base. Sydney Sherrill is the batter who takes ball 1.
At the plate for the Spark, 24, Sydney Sherrill.
It was Chicago beating Utah in 8 innings in the first game of the day in the AUSL. 1-1 count, Sherrill fouls that off.
It's the first time in AUSL regular season history where we have multiple extra inning games on the same calendar day.
Still one more this evening, the late one, 10 Eastern, between Portland and Texas, as Sherrill falls behind 1-2. And now he's got to try and swing away against Pickens. Harper on second, Sherrill, Nichols, Camarena, and Gordon due up. Sherrill goes down on strikes. Feels like it's even tougher there against Pickens.
I was just about to say, it is just so much harder to face Pickens after you faced Kaylani Ricketts. So to go back and forth, they are just so different speed-wise and left-handed and right-handed. I mean, this is a tough task for Spark to adjust back to Pickens.
Bubba Nichols, Camarena in a 1-0 count. And how many of these games have we seen, not just Carolina on the wrong side up recently, but Carlin Pickens in the circle for 3 times in a row. She was on the field when they got walked off against. Now, of course, this wouldn't be a walk-off situation, but yet again, high leverage spot in extras for Carlin.
She has pitched as a pro in a lot of high leverage, high pressure moments like this. I mean, it's just been, her season is 25 games and she's felt pressure a lot. She's been the one in the circle.
Entered the weekend leading the league in innings pitched, top 5 in all the big pitching categories. This is low, full count now to Bubba. Ground ball for Brito, who handles it up the middle. It's dropped at first. Bubba is on first and third with just 1 away.
Now batting for the Spark, number 10, Sarah Gordon.
Good job of Brito getting to this ball, and didn't think the throw was too offline. Got to go down as an error on the first baseman, Bailey Klingler. That has to be caught.
That hits Gordon on the first pitch. That is 75 miles per hour off the foot. And Gordon will walk to first base.
And that one error just totally changes the complexion of this inning. You would have had runner at third base, 2 outs, 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Now you have bases loaded after a hit by pitch in less than 2 outs, and a great opportunity to score here if you're the Spark.
Quick visit by Kyler Holton, the pitching coach for Carolina, with Carlin Pickens. She will now face Haley Lee, who came in a pinch hit spot back in the 6th inning and right away delivered a single.
The error is going to go down on Brito, but the ball was in Bailey Klingler's glove. I mean, all she had to do was hold on to the ball and it would be an out. So interesting scoring decision there.
Haley Lee's 2nd time to the plate this year with bases loaded. 0 for 1. Takes low, ball 1. If you're Haley Lee, what are you sitting on here? What's your approach?
Now finding a drop ball out over the plate, making Carlin Pickens bring you one there. or a change-up if you like it that's out over the heart of the plate like that. Now, big speed difference of about 9 to 10 miles an hour, but that was a mistake out over the heart of the plate, and you saw Haley Lee take a good swing on it.
Lee fights off that pitch. 1-2 count. Bases loaded, 1 out. Lee, ground ball right side. What a play by Klingler. But the go-ahead run comes across, and they don't get the out at second. We'll see if they challenge at second. It's not going to matter as far as the run scoring. Regardless, OKC is leading.
I thought that the throw was late when we watched it live. Just didn't look like Brito's foot got there in time, and Klingler making the aggressive decision to go to second instead of taking the sure out at 1.
Ground ball up the middle, that's going to get through. Gordon is held at third. And Sid McKinney doubles the lead, now 6-4.
Heading to the batter's box.
Well, now look out if you're a Carolina fan, because here comes Maya Brady. The reason we are in this inning is Brady's solo home run to lead off the top of the 7th that tied this game, her second of the day. 3 for 4 at the plate, 2 homers and a double.
And Carlin Pickens did strike her out in her first at bat on a changeup and looked really good against her. Pickens versus Brady back in the first inning. Looked like Pickens was going right at her and then threw her rise ball that she hit out in the 4th.
Brady swings first pitch and fouls it off. This matchup right here is why we love the AUSL. Carlin Pickens against Maya Brady. Bases loaded, just a few days left in the regular season. Strike 2. Oh-2 pitch. First batter in the inning, Sydney Sherrill tried to bunt the runner over and ended up striking out. Then an error really jump-started this rally. Brady goes down on strikes. Big strikeout for Pickens.
Staying away from the rise ball, going with her changeup and her drop, mixing speeds, and then at bat, and finally going to the changeup to get her out in front. Trusting that pitch with the bases loaded against arguably the best hitter in the world right now for the K.
Strike 1 to Sydney Romero. 9 strikeouts for this Blaze pitching staff today. Second most of the season. 10 is the season high. Carlin has 7 of those 9. Sid Romero going to have a quick conversation with Joe Evans, the third base coach. Pickens and Atwood discussing things in the circle.
It looked like Sydney Romero initiated that timeout to want to just take a beat, talk it over with Joe Evans.
She raved about Joe Evans and having her on staff, longtime Texas A&M head coach, your former head coach at A&M. Oh, 1 pitch from Pickens. Back up the middle and hit Pickens. Oh no. And she looks like she's okay. That is a scary moment. That is 73 off the bat. Carlin obviously shaken up. Wow, you just hope she's okay. She is acting like she wants to stay in this game. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I don't think this got any part of her glove either. At least it's what I thought right off the bat. Maybe, oh, little ricochet. But not much.
Such a scary moment. Just wonder if it didn't maybe get her a little bit in the chest before it hit her in the chin, but I think we're all just happy to see that Carlin stayed on her feet even, and the fact that she tried to make that play is unbelievable. And she's going to stay in this game.
That's a whole other level when you're staying in the game after something like that hits your face. It's one thing to get hit in the leg, the shoulder, the foot, but hit in the face like that is very scary.
Now facing Delaney Wiz, delivers strike one. Well, we talked about it, all the tough moments that Carlin Pickens has been in. Anna Camden last week had a great report on just the mentality that Carlin has approached it with and understanding the bigger picture. Ground ball left side, Brito makes the stop, comes out of her glove into left. They won't test it with McKinney. Another run comes in, and it's now a 4-run lead for OKC.
This has just all happened so quickly. All of a sudden, Amari Harper is up, and we're about to bat around for the Spark. She started at second base for this inning.
Harper hit that off her leg. So that'll be strike one. Harper 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch. This is ripped into right center field. That's going to roll to the wall, and it's going to clear the bases. Oklahoma City has completely busted this game open. Harper into third with a 3 RBI triple. And now Emma Lemley will enter this game for Carlin Pickens. More than anything that's happened in this inning, we are happy to see Carlin Pickens running off the field right now, and a tip of the cap for the toughness that she just showed. My goodness.
It was just the start of this inning that looked like it was off to a good start, actually, with the runner in scoring position, starting with the tiebreaker. Cheryl struck out. However, then there was an error by Alyssa Brito, and then a bad decision by Bailey Klingler that just did not lead to any outs. So could have been 2 additional outs in that inning that they did not get. And then this is just what has busted it open. A bases clearing triple off the bat of Amari Harper. And all of a sudden, the Spark have batted around, put up a 7 spot in this extra inning. My goodness, this happened, it feels like so fast in this inning.
What was it, 30 minutes ago? Oklahoma City was on the ropes. They were down to their final 3 outs, and it wouldn't have ended their season, but it would have given Portland a chance to win tonight and punch their ticket to the postseason. Now, OKC is up 7.
You have some games where you can go an entire 7 innings and be like, oh, what was the difference maker, the one moment in that game? And you just really can't find one. And then you have other games like this where you can point to literally 4 or 5 different moments where there's been momentum swings. I mean, this game has been back and forth, and it's a lopsided score now, but it's not how it's been this whole game.
At the plate for the Spark is 24.
Sydney Sherrill led this inning off, striking out swinging. Emma Lemley, second-year pro out of Virginia Tech, just looking for the final out of the 8th. 1-1. Talked about all those moments in this game. And one of the ones you can look back to is Elena Vaughter in the second inning. Coming in, bases loaded, nobody out. Back-to-back strikeouts and a ground out, and didn't allow a run. Sherrill into shallow left center field. Clark couldn't quite get there. Harper will score, and Sherrill is into second safely. Barring a ridiculous bottom of the eighth, Oklahoma City will be just one win behind Portland's total of 13. And should Portland lose tonight, Oklahoma City would only need to win one of the last two to make the postseason because they have the tiebreaker over the Cascade. This is the first time the Spark have played an extra inning game this year, and they score 8 in the top of the eighth. Two and one.
Ruby Galen, the probable starter for the Blaze tomorrow, and then Devin Netz, a probable starter for Game 3. So with how things have laid out, it kind of seemed like the Blaze's best chance with Carlin Pickens starting, Keilani Ricketts in relief, Pickens coming back in, was maybe their best chance to win. I'm not saying it can't happen in Game 2 or Game 3, but when you look at the numbers of the pitchers, Pickens has pitched the best for the Carolina Blaze. Ruby Malin, as of late, has gotten hit hard, and Devin Netz just hasn't seen that much action. So we'll see how they work their pitching staff in Game 2 and Game 3, and hopefully we get to see Carlin Pickens pitch again in Game 2 or 3.
Strike three, Bubba goes down looking to finally end the top of the eighth. 8 runs for the Spark. We told you what it means, and just look what it means to Oklahoma City. 3 outs away from a crucial win in the postseason push. This is what's at stake. Oklahoma City just a game behind Portland for that final playoff spot. The Cascade hosts Texas tonight, 10 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. How about this pitching matchup, Amanda? I know you like this one.
Yeah, I'll take it. I hope that I can keep my eyes awake, and you know I will be watching at 10 Eastern tonight to be able to watch Nyjah Kennedy pitch against Sam Landry. That'll be a good one.
2 of the last 3 starts for Nyjah Kennedy, the best of her career. We got to see one of those 8 innings in a win over Carolina this past week. Aubrey Leach leads it off. Anna Gold is the runner at second. And Jalen Ford just 3 outs away from giving Oklahoma City a massive win.
And I have a feeling with not seeing Jalen Ford as one of the probable starters for the 3-game series that came out that this Spark put out. I have a feeling they intend on using her in relief all series long.
Sarah Gordon behind the plate. Leach is retired, 1 out.
I think that they trust her in this position. You can tell the way that she competes. It's really good stuff that complements the other pitchers on this staff.
Really just the one swing, and it was one of the first pitches she threw to Alyssa Brito. 2-run home run.
Maddie Penta, the probable starter for tomorrow for the Spark.
Penta fresh off a complete game win, her last outing. That was against Texas. Gave up just 2 earned, 6 hits, and struck out 4. Strike 1 to Dakota Kennedy. There is Maddie Penta, the former Auburn star and 2023 SEC Pitcher of the Year. Won 27 games that year for Mickey Dean at Auburn. Two and one. Given what Oklahoma City can do offensively and what we saw from this pitching staff earlier in the season, this feels like another one you would chalk up as a successful performance overall, just giving up the 4 runs.
Yeah, absolutely. And just being able, I mean, just a home run here, a home run there, you know, a couple of pitches, but being able to limit the damage and a lot of other key moments. There's been traffic on the base pass for the Blaze a lot. I mean, they're 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So they've had opportunities offensively, some big ones, even with the top of their order coming up, and they just have not been able to come through. There's been 2 innings in particular where 1, 2, and 3 came up with multiple runners on and just did not get a hit.
Kennedy swings at that pitch in the dirt, and there are 2 outs.
Stepping into the batter's box for the Carolina Blaze, number 15, Reese Atwood.
Reese Atwood, the last chance for Carolina to keep this game going. Takes strike 1.
When you think about how they've handled her today, 0 for 3 with a walk. She did come around to score a run after she was walked in the first inning, but being able to silence her bat has been a big part of the Spark being in a position to win.
That was another one of those moments that you were talking about. Actually, last time Reese came to the plate, there were 2 on and just 1 out, and there was a base empty. Jalen Ford got called for the pitch clock violation, so she was already behind in the count. They went right at Reese and got her to strike out.
I think that mindset, or that moment, tells you about the mindset of Jalen Ford and the stuff that she is capable of having. Did not start great after that home run given up to Brito, but she's been able to rebound, and you can see the swings and misses that she can get on these pitches. She can be absolutely electric.
Tough take for Reese there on the 56-mile-an-hour off speed. 3-1. Into right field, tailing foul and playable for Harper, who makes the catch. Oklahoma City with a massive win. They put up 8 in the top of the 8th and take game 1 of the series.
A couple of big innings for Oklahoma City. That back-to-back-to-back home run inning was, of course, a big answer. And then Maya Brady with the home run that tied it in the 7th. And then that 8-run 8th inning that they had that just sealed the deal. 24 hits in this game, 16 runs scored. And Oklahoma City had the bulk of those runs scored in the final.
They have put the pressure on the Portland Cascade, who they are just a half game back of, and they have the tiebreaker. If Portland were to lose tonight against Texas, Oklahoma City would only have to win 1 of the next 2 to clinch that final playoff spot. This race is coming down to the final day. Chicago, Utah tomorrow. Winner gets the #1 seed and a first-round bye. Oklahoma City takes one step closer to the postseason. For Amanda Scarborough, Anna Camden, and our entire crew, I'm Chucky Kemp. We thank you for joining us. Texas, Portland tonight at 10 Eastern. Go to the AUSL.com for where to watch. We'll see you tomorrow.